Hey crew, it's Gavin Seim, and today we're going to talk about color grading and editing, specifically with portraits. I'm going to show you the latest version of the Belladonna 2 preset collection 2.3 that I just put out. And this is for Lightroom, it's for Capture One, and I'm going to show you, however, in Lightroom, some of the new AI features that we have in Lightroom. But I want to talk today a little bit about color, because when we're editing portraits, there's kind of this baseline. The baseline is, of course, our subject, the skin tone. So when people are talking about profiles and cameras and Fuji versus Sony versus Canon, they're always talking about skin tones. And obviously good skin tones are important. What's not talked about a lot is that skin tones are a very flexible thing. Skin tones vary by how much light you're putting on the subject, by how you lighten the channels in post, by the color of light in the day. So when we say skin tone, let's say for Caucasian or Black or Latino, people have different skin tones, but we actually see those skin tones differently in different light, in different conditions. And so a camera that renders skin tones well is one, in my belief, that consistently gives results that to us feel attractive, that feel natural, that don't overdo it. So then when I come around and I'm editing in post, I'm designing presets, now we're taking a mix of a color. Sometimes we want just a natural, this is a portrait, this is a headshot, this is a family kind of look. And sometimes we don't. If you think about when you watch movies, skin tones are a hugely variable thing. Imagine if you watch a movie and so often you'll see a very orange tone, a very blue tone, a very dark tone. When I'm editing photos, I like to think in terms of a cinema look sometimes, because there's so much energy and resources and money put into making these edits dramatic and dynamic. That doesn't mean I need to edit a portrait as a blue tone, but when I make a pack that's dedicated to more to portraits, obviously you can use Belladonna with street and with landscapes, and you can get really cool color mixes. But when I design Belladonna, it's kind of with the portrait in mind and getting different cinematic looks all the way to natural looks, so we can quickly get to a visualization with our portraits. When I'm editing in Lightroom and Capture One in Photoshop, maybe I want to do more, I take it in and I use Alchemist to do detailed retouches in Photoshop after my color grade. But it all starts here with normally a RAW file or a JPEG, but a RAW gives you more to work with in Lightroom and Capture One. So I have to say, okay, I have light, natural light, artificial light. Here's what I have in the RAW file. Here's what my tones of my greens, the bushes, the background are doing. When I'm making a tool, and I want to have a great tool to edit a portrait, the goal is to combine a mix of those color channels to get me the right cinematic, filmic, digitic, whatever you want to call it, look that works with what I had here. Generally, I'm going for a look where the subject looks natural in terms of my visualization. Will the subject look exactly as you saw it or as I saw it on the scene? Maybe not. We might have seen it differently, actually. But the goal is to have the subject most of the time look real, look natural, and then mix the surrounding colors to make it look balanced. Let's switch over to Lightroom, and I'm going to show you kind of some of the new things I've done in Belladonna 2.3. And along the way, we're going to edit a few portraits. And I'm just going to talk about what's going through my head when I edit portraits and hopefully help you guys out in your editing journey. I have a bunch of portraits here from a bunch of different types of sessions. And we're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys. Let's actually switch to develop mode. You can see I have Belladonna 2.3. In 2.3, the Belladonna's toolbox, these kind of one-click wonders have all been remastered, starting with Portrait Auto, which is pretty cool. Now here's a strobe lit scene on the water of a model where we're mixing natural light and we're mixing strobe light, shot with an umbrella on a Sony full frame, okay? And you can see, let me reset this again. Here's this, it looks pretty good. We could say, oh, the skin tones on that Sony are looking good. And the newer Sonys actually are considered to have really good skin tones. There's not a lot of green, there's not a lot of red. We have this kind of Latina skin here. It looks good. And she looks good here. Now, I want to do something with this. I want to smooth the skin just a little bit. Obviously, I could go to Photoshop. I could use something like Alchemist. I could use Lumist. I could use a plugin. In my case, I'm going to use Alchemist and do more detailed refinements, burning, dodging, skin smoothing. But I want to start by getting a great look with the RAW file. Because when I'm doing a portrait session, I may take my best images, the ones I'm going to print with, and go to Photoshop. But most of the images, they're going to be uploaded to Instagram, given to the model, to the client, put on social media. Every one of those I'm not going to take and spend 20 minutes editing in Photoshop. So understanding that difference between the raw edit and the non-raw edit, I think is important. Let me switch you to just the screen and explain to you what we're looking at. Over here on this side, we have Belladonna 2. And if I look at this, and let me just see here, let me go in and I can zoom in on this too. You can see here we have the new toolbox. So Belladonna is leaning towards portraits, even though it does have a wide mix, and it starts with all of these kind of thematic edits. So we see the portrait auto. This is using the latest AI tools and the new presets. If they say AI, what it means is we're bringing in this AI masking that we have now over here. I did a video about this last week in the latest version of Lightroom. If you're using an old legacy version, basically you're just not going to have these because it's just going to apply the color grade. And the AI masks, of course, we don't have in Capture One as well, but all the color grading stuff that you're going to see in this latest version, we do. Now, if you look at these, you'll see here that it's applied this mask, but I need to update it. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go and click update, and it's going to take my background. And then I also need to update the other one, which is my subject. Okay. Now you can see the soften lower grad. That's just a grad at the bottom of the image. There's no exclamation mark. There's no need to update that one. It's just a traditional grad. Now that I've applied this, I can independently take my subject and my background separate from the color grade, and I can lighten, I can control highlight, shadows, smoothing, everything I want, background and subject, and control exactly what I want in terms of saturation and everything I want to do to make this image look good. This is really cool because it allows us to virtually instantly select the subject, separate it from the background. Now, one of the things you're going to see in Belladonna, also in the quick mods here, if I go down to here, you can see AI grad portrait. This is essentially applying the same mix of grads, the subject and background mask, and with it the adjustments that we see here in the adjustments panel. So you can adjust any of these sliders that are then going to apply to the selected mask that we have up here in the new masks panel in the latest versions of Lightroom. Okay, so you can apply the auto AI, which is applying auto exposure, auto tone. It's applying the auto everything, which traditionally has been hit and miss, but I feel like auto settings here in the basic panel is actually getting better and better. So by running this auto, and the reason it's at the top is it's a great starter effect, and you can get a long ways with that. But you can see as we go through, and I'm going to reset. I'm going to shift Control R to reset everything, including the grad, so we can go back to our raw file, okay? And you can see we have the flat light, the too dark, the too light. Some of these are pushing the image a little bit too far because these are designed to give you a quick portrait tool for whatever situation you're dealing with. The after sunset lift actually looks really good. It's warming her up a little bit here, and then I can control my exposure and get the look I want. Golden sun balance, film push, backlit film, and strobe perfect. Strobe perfect is good. And again, look over here to the gradients. You'll see on these latest versions, if it has an M, it means there's something going on in the masking tool. There's gradients, there's AI. I'm marking AI in the preset name if it has AIs. In this case, we have a luminance mask and a lower grad. So you don't have to edit these, but you can click on any of these masks right up here and edit them quickly, or you can leave them the way they are and essentially have automatic masking, okay? So if I leave the exposure native and just apply strobe perfect, what it's doing is it's taking that situation that we often get when we're mixing strobes with non-strobes, right? Natural light, strobe light, all that kind of stuff, where sometimes it can be a little intense, and it's kind of softening that up. And I might want to manually tweak this a little bit to maintain our contrast. I'm gonna add a little bit of whites and a little bit of blacks right over here just to balance it out. But you can see in Belladonna 2.3, and let me just switch because I don't think I showed you the screen, what I was doing over there. I am right here, and I just took, sometimes I forget to switch. I'm not perfect, okay? And I'm just gonna tweak my whites and blacks just a little bit separate from the preset and maintain the contrast that I want to have here. And of course, I could also use the contrast slider and do that in a different way. Let's go to another image though. And if we're in a portrait toolkit like this, which Belladonna has become over the years, I can quickly go through, and one of the things I love about this, I can say, well, backlight film looks great on this atmospheric, kind of misty, romantic wedding shot. But I can also go down here. Most of the updates in 2.3 are in the toolbox. It's these quick one-clicks, the solvers, the AI tools that have been added, and updates to the color that have been added to both the Lightroom version and the Capture One version. But I can also go down here and you can see there's been other 2.3 updates added and tweaks, and I can just mouse over. All of these, you'll notice, have different variations of the skin tone, but most of them are trying to maintain skin tone to a large degree while doing cinematic things with the background. This is not a strictly natural skin tone, but it's actually a soft, nice skin tone while the background and the surrounding elements are doing remarkable looks. Let's go to Blue Dancer, and you can see it's completely changing how we interpret the greens. So I like to think of presets as the ability to try different films quickly to get a different visualization and find what I want to do for each image. And as I go through these, you'll see that I can either use an auto tool right here at the top or one of the one clicks and get a very good look, or I can go down and start mixing it up by adding more mods, doing white balance, warm, cool vignettes, and quickly get edits that look good. Then go, for example, to a crop like this, and we're just going through and editing these images very quickly from baseline raw to a really good looking edit that's ready to go. And we're flipping through pretty quickly. The key, I think, when you're editing portraits is to think about your subject. Make sure that in your mind's eye, your emphasis is on that subject. Remember, a great photo has a subject. If I put the bright skin preset on here, she looks good. What if I do bright skin and a vignette just to draw the eye to that subject? And then I can go and try different things, and I still have my vignette, and I'm just adding other looks kind of as I go through here to say, okay, what's going to work good for this subject on this here? And let's reset this and see what it looks like crudely in the raw. And let's go down to something like the golden sun balance, which is designed. These Bella's Toolbox presets are very refined, and I put a lot of work in them to try and make them kind of go-to tools that just work, that you can quickly say, oh, here's my situation, let's try this. I'm actually going to turn my saturation down a little bit on this one over here in the edits panel, and then just crop this a little bit, and you can see that we have a very good result. There's no one preset. After Sunset Lift looks good here, but so does something like Film Push. So does something like Epic. That's a little green. Let's go to Epic 2, or maybe Atmosphere. Atmosphere is working really good. It's bringing out the oranges. The hair looks good. So I can mix this up. I can think about, what's my subject look like? What kind of theme or feel am I going to? This is Victoria, which leans toward the warm sides. What's happening in Belladonna, and it's more refined in 2.3, is in Bella's Toolbox, we brought in some AI and some fundamentals and some more quality auto tools. And then in other presets throughout the collection, we've just refined. I can take my raw, I can crop it, and I can go down here and quickly get a look, most of the time in the Bella's Toolbox, that I'm gonna like, just out of the gate. In this case, Portrait Auto just works pretty well. I could adjust my exposure manually a little more. I could add a vignette, and I could, of course, go in here, because the auto one here is an AI preset. I could take my subject and my background and use those, and the AI separate them just a little more and get a higher level of edit. And you can see it does take a few seconds to update each of these, but now I'm separating subject from background, which immediately gives me a huge level of control. So now I can take and say, well, my subject looks good. My background, I'm darkening a little too much. Let's bring that up and bring the shadows up. I don't want her to look like a cutout. So I want to find a balance between those two so that the subject is separated from the background, but it looks really natural. And actually, this looks really good. You can see as I do stack, watch your grads, because with the new grads tool in the latest version, it keeps adding grads. The grads don't overwrite. So if I run Portrait Auto AI and then I run Strobe Perfect, the grads or the masking that's in both of those is actually going to combine, and you can see all those over here. You can turn them off right here with the eyeball icon if you want to see it without. You can right click and delete. You can do whatever you need. But look at this image, what we started with, just a crude raw file with a little bit of strobe that's a little bit underexposed, to this in just a few seconds. I think that's pretty good. I don't want to make this go too long. When you edit portraits, I just want to encourage you to think a little outside your box, to try and think like you're in a movie maybe sometimes, to think cinematic, to think about your subject first, their skin tones, what you want, what mood you're trying to create with the light, the strobe, the natural light, and then figure out how you adequately separate that subject from the background to bring a balance so that you have that perfect feel that you were going for. Maybe it's just a white or a black background and you're just trying to get the right contrast separation, but maybe it's a more environmental type of background like we saw in a lot of these portraits, and you're just trying to find a balance of all of those together. Whatever you're doing, I think for you Belladonna users, you're going to enjoy this update. If you don't use Belladonna, check it out. But if you're not interested in it, I hope this also just helped you think about how you can mix colors and looks to get a blend that makes your images sing. If you look at a lot of these presets, you'll see there's some creative stuff going on in every one of these with luminance, saturation, hue. We're using color grading. We're using curves in different ways to bring out these images and get a look that is balanced and that works for each image. The key is not to try and make it the same every time. It's not to try and think, oh, this is the skin tones of this camera, this is how they're going to look. The skin tones, the balance of those lights, the luminance values, and the subtleties of those tones are coming from you ultimately. You may love the camera that you're using and the way it captures skin tones, but remember, as the image makers, we are the painters of the light, and we can make it do whatever we want when we know how to use our tools. All right, you guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a like on this video, hit that sub and the bell icon to get notified of new videos, because I'm doing more and more, and let me know what kind of videos you want to see, and we'll talk to you all soon. Peace out.